Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a question that I know a lot of you have been wondering about. What is it about you that this person is so deeply attracted to? What is it about you that keeps pulling them in, keeps you on their mind, keeps making them come back to your energy? Even though they may not be willing to admit any of it to you, because the energy I'm picking up here is strong. And honestly, this doesn't feel like a simple crush. It doesn't feel like, oh, they're cute, I kind of like them. No, there's something much deeper happening here. Something instinctive, something magnetic. And for some of you, there's even a spiritual quality to this connection. I feel like this person is actually fighting a pretty intense internal battle when it comes to you. It's not that they're sitting there wondering, do I like this person? They already know there's something there. The real question is, what are they going to do about it? Because I feel like this person has been trying very hard to control what they feel for you. They've been using logic. They've been telling themselves to calm down. They've been trying to act normal around you, trying not to stare, trying not to make their feelings obvious, trying to convince themselves that they have everything under control. But honestly, I don't think they do. Their self-control is starting to crack. And this person may be reaching a turning point. A point where they can no longer keep pretending that this connection doesn't affect them. If this is someone who is already in your life, I think you're going to notice a shift. You may notice them looking at you differently, approaching you differently, finding more reasons to talk to you, paying closer attention to you. And eventually, their actions are going to start revealing what their mouth has been too afraid to say. And if this is someone who hasn't fully entered your life yet, I'm getting the feeling that they may approach you slowly, very carefully. They're not going to rush this, but even from the beginning, there will be little signs, little looks, little excuses to be around you, small attempts to get closer. And I want you to understand something about this person. They don't want you to think they're playing games. This doesn't feel like someone who wants a quick fling and then disappears. They're not looking for something temporary. They're not looking for a connection that burns hot for a few weeks and then fades away. Actually, it feels almost opposite. They see something in you that makes them think about stability. They see someone they could potentially build something real with, someone they could picture in their future. And for some of you, they may already be looking at you as long-term relationship material. But here's where things get complicated. This person has a lot going on in their life. They're trying to balance family, work, money, personal goals, their future, their emotional healing, their own growth. And then there's you. And part of them wants to forget about all of that and simply surrender to what they feel. But another part keeps saying, slow down, think about this. Is this practical? Can I really allow myself to feel this much? So they analyze, they overthink, they try to find a logical explanation for why they're so drawn to you. But the more they try to figure it out, the less sense it makes. Because no matter how many times they try to redirect their attention, their heart keeps bringing them right back to you. And I don't feel like these thoughts about you come and go randomly. They're frequent, they're persistent, and at times, they're intense. There's something about you that stays with them, even when you're not around. And I can't tell you everything I'm picking up in one reading, but there is one thing that feels incredibly clear. This person does not want a half-hearted connection with you. They want something real. They want consistency. They want emotional security. They want to know where they stand with you. And what's interesting is you may have absolutely no idea how much power you have over this person because you're not even trying. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to flirt with them. You don't have to seduce them. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to perform. You can literally just be yourself. And somehow that's enough to completely throw them off balance. And I think that's because you've shown them something they weren't expecting. You've shown them what a genuine connection can actually feel like. Before you came along, this person may have had a very different attitude toward love. Maybe they treated relationships casually. Maybe they believed love was more of a game. Maybe they preferred to keep things light because going deeper felt dangerous. And it may not have been because they were a bad person. They may simply never have experienced a kind of love that felt safe enough to trust. I feel like this person has been hurt before. And not just a little. There may have been betrayal, abandonnement, a situation where they trusted someone completely, only to have that trust broken. And that experience changed them. It created a wound that they carried for a long time. There may have even been a period in their life when they stopped believing that something genuinely good could come into their life. So they rebuilt themselves. They focused on work. They focused on their goals. They focused on becoming stronger. They focused on healing. They became more independent. They learnt how to stand on their own. They learnt how to protect their heart. And then you showed up. But what's interesting is that you probably weren't some dramatic lightning strike in their life. This doesn't necessarily feel like love at first sight. You may have entered their life quietly, slowly, naturally. Maybe it started with simple conversations, maybe friendship, maybe casual interactions. Maybe you were simply someone they saw from time to time, but little by little, you became harder and harder to ignore. And eventually, you became someone they couldn't replace. For some of you, this may have started with two complete strangers. Then you became acquaintances, then friends, and somewhere along the way, something changed. Something deeper began developing underneath the surface. And now this person has to confront feelings they can no longer control. Because here's the interesting part. Even though they're afraid of getting hurt again, they're still willing to take a chance on you. And that says a lot. Because when they're around you, they feel something they haven't felt in a very long time. They feel alive. They feel lighter. They feel peaceful. They feel warm. They feel like they can breathe. There's a sense of wholeness here, and they may not even understand why you have that effect on them. So they pull back. They try to look at the situation rationally. They try to create distance. They tell themselves they need to think. They try to get their emotions under control because they don't want to come toward you until they know exactly what they're doing. They want to be certain. And I have a very strong feeling about this. Once this person makes up their mind, they are not going to come toward you halfway. They're not going to give you mixed signals forever. They're not going to keep playing hot and cold. When they finally decide to act, you're going to see it through their behavior. Consistency, effort, intentionality. And I'm seeing a moment where this person suddenly pulls you closer. They may make a move that completely catches you off guard. You may not see it coming. Now, let's look at the card that's coming through. Six of Cups. Wow. This is beautiful energy. The Six of Cups often brings up familiarity, nostalgia, emotional comfort, and that strange feeling of knowing someone on a deeper level. And honestly, I feel like this person has been waiting for an opportunity with you for longer than you realize. If this is currently a friend, they may not want to stay in the friend zone anymore. They want to be someone special to you. They want your attention. They want to flirt with you. They want to make you smile. They want to surprise you. And for some of you, this person may actually have a very romantic side that they haven't shown you yet. They may want to bring you flowers, take you somewhere special, do thoughtful little things for you. You could literally tell them, I don't even like flowers. And somehow, I still feel like they'd send you flowers because this person wants to see you happy. They want to see your reaction. They want to make you feel special. And that's the thing. On the outside, this person may look completely calm, collected, unbothered. But underneath that, they're a mess when it comes to you. And there's another energy here that I can't ignore. Jealousy. I feel like this person gets jealous. Maybe they don't show it. Maybe they try very hard to hide it. But when they see you talking to someone else, or laughing with someone else, or when they realize another person is interested in you, something inside of them gets activated. It's almost primal. There's this instinctive feeling of, wait. Other people are noticing them too, and part of them wants to claim their place. They may never actually say, I'm jealous, but you can probably feel it in their behavior. And the funny thing is, you're not even trying to make them jealous. You're simply living your life. You're being yourself. You're talking to people. You're doing your thing. And somehow, that makes them even more obsessed, because you have this natural quality about you. You may not even realize how attractive you are. You might look in the mirror and think, I look pretty normal today. But in this person's eyes, there is absolutely nothing ordinary about you. They're attracted to the way you look when you're completely natural. Not just when you're dressed up. Not just when you've done your hair and makeup. Not just when you're trying to look your best. They notice you when you're doing absolutely nothing special. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you laugh, the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you genuinely love. They notice the little things, the tiny details the things you probably assume nobody notices. And for some of you, this person may actually be closer to you than you realize. They could be a friend, a co-worker, someone you work with, someone in your social circle, someone you see regularly, maybe even a neighbor. They may be around you quite often, but they still haven't found a real place in your personal world. And that's exactly what they want to change. They want access to more of you. They want to know you beyond the surface. They want to understand what makes you tick. And every time they see you, I feel like they're quietly observing, watching, remembering little things you say, picking up details. Maybe they ask your friends about you. Maybe they casually bring you up in conversation. Maybe they find excuses to talk to people who know you. They want to understand you better. They even notice your laugh, your voice, the little expressions you make. Some of you may love singing. Maybe you hum to yourself. Maybe you sing when you think nobody is listening. And I have a feeling this person listens. They notice if you have a public social media presence. I also feel like this person may be keeping an eye on you online, watching your stories, looking at your posts, checking what you're up to. But here's what's so interesting. You're not doing any of this for them. You're not posting pictures hoping they'll see you. You're not dressing up because you want their attention. You're not chasing validation. You're not trying to be chosen. And that energy is incredibly attractive to them because you carry this feeling of, I don't need anyone to make me feel complete. If you're in my life, great. If you're not, I'll still be okay. There's something very grounded about you. You're independent. You're composed. You seem to have control over your emotions. And because you're not begging for their attention, they want your attention even more. There may literally be a sentence running through their mind, you have no idea what you do to me. You have no idea how hard you are to forget. Every time you walk into a room, their eyes find you, almost automatically, and when you leave, they may continue watching you until you're completely out of sight. They might never tell you this, but I strongly feel that someone close to them knows. A friend may have noticed. Someone may have looked at them and said, okay, you obviously like her. And this person may have denied it at first, but eventually they may have admitted it. Now the energy gets even more intense because this person isn't only emotionally attracted to you. There's a very strong physical attraction here too. And sometimes it's the smallest things that trigger it. The way you eat, the way you bite your lip when you're nervous, the way you play with your hair, the way you look at them, things that mean absolutely nothing to you, can have a completely different effect on them. For example, if you've ever been around each other at a gym, you might simply be stretching, getting ready for your workout, completely focused on yourself, and they're over there trying to remind themselves, okay, calm down, because the physical chemistry here is strong, very strong, and they're also attracted to your voice, your tone, your cadence, the way you say simple things. There may even be moments when they replay your voice in their head, and I feel like they especially love your eyes. There's something about eye contact with you that affects them deeply, because when you look directly at them, everything suddenly feels more intimate, more personal. It's almost as though you're communicating without saying anything. One look from you can make them feel exposed. And then there's the way you touch your hair, the way you smile, the way you move, the way you simply exist without trying to impress anyone. You're not intentionally seducing them. You're not trying to turn them on. You're not even aware of the effect you're having. And ironically, that's exactly what makes you so irresistible to them, because they don't know how to control themselves around someone who isn't trying to control the situation. They want to get past your calm exterior. They want to see the version of you that you don't show everyone. The real you, the private you, the you that exists when nobody is watching. They want to know what you're like late at night. When you're tired, when you're not wearing makeup, when you're in comfortable clothes, when you don't feel the need to look perfect. They want the everyday version of you, the unfiltered version, the version that only someone truly close to you gets to see. And that's what they crave. Your quietness pulls them in. Your silence can actually make them feel more than your words do. Everything about you seems to awaken something inside of them, something they thought they had already buried. And honestly, their self-control is starting to fall apart. So if you've been feeling like someone has been watching you, if you've been catching someone staring, if you felt like someone is paying unusually close attention to you, you may not be imagining it. They really are watching you, quietly, from a distance. But now, we're getting very close to the breaking point, because I feel like this person is about to reach out, they're about to contact you, and when they do, you may finally understand something. This was never just a passing attraction. This person has been trying to control these feelings for a long time. They've tried to suppress them. They've tried to rationalize them. They've tried to convince themselves they could simply move on, but they're reaching their limit. They don't want to keep pretending they don't want you. So if you've been thinking about someone constantly, if one particular person keeps coming to your mind, if you've been feeling someone's energy around you, if you've had this strange feeling that someone is thinking about you, this may be the confirmation you've been waiting for. Trust your intuition. Trust what your body is telling you. Because sometimes your intuition knows something long before your conscious mind can explain it. And I have a very strong feeling that the universe is moving this connection toward a conversation, a confession, a moment of truth, something you're going to remember for a very long time. So if this reading resonated with you, take what feels true to your heart. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to chase this person. You don't have to manipulate the situation. Let their actions show you what their words may not yet be ready to say. And anything that doesn't resonate, simply leave it here. You never have to carry what isn't yours. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting your intuition enough to find this reading. And if this message found you at exactly the right time, maybe there's a reason. I'll see you in the next reading. Until then, love yourself deeply. Trust your intuition, protect your peace, and never forget, the right person will never require you to chase what is meant to meet you halfway. Love and light